pound for pound, the best kickboxer that's ever come out of the UK.
Prior to me starting the martial arts, I would say my confidence level was not very high. That's what I learned it for, to be able to go, oh no, now I've got to fight me.
Lance, you have, in one of your jobs, been an inspector of schools.
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about that.
First of all, is that my career in sport, from having good advice from people like Danny Connors, who questioned me or said simple things, well, you're not going to fight for all your life. What are you going to do if you get an injury? That made me really rethink. So at the same time as training sport-wise, I went to Baxter Education College, did my O and A levels there, then did a degree and became a school teacher. As a school teacher now, I was a supply teacher. I then became, I was PE and design technology, and then became a behavioural specialist. I then became head of department, head of PE. I then became assistant head teacher. From there, I didn't become deputy or head. I jumped that rank and became a school inspector. Because the only way you can actually apply for that job is you have to be a assistant head, deputy head or head teacher. That's the only way you can apply for the job as a school inspector. So at a particular time, West Yorkshire wanted a school inspector, but they wanted somebody kind of different. And they wanted somebody very different from the norm type of school inspector, which is why after 2 days of interviewing, they chose me.
2 days of interviewing?
Oh yeah, 2 days from
Intensive.
9 till 5.
Yeah.
2 days solid. Yeah, 2 days of like different panels, 4 separate panels each day.
How do you think that your knowledge of martial arts, of boxing, of people, and of course of being able to get in touch with yourself and understanding yourself, how do you think that helped you in your job?
As a school inspector? Oh, wow. It gave me that sort of confidence of being able to go walk into any type of environment, because there ain't too many black school inspectors, and in West Yorkshire it was just me. Also, I suppose in a way it allowed me, or my past experience gave me a certain type of see-through IBD detector, internal bullshit detector, kind of, it could see through things. It gave me a fearlessness. So as an inspector now, well, it didn't bother me to go down to work in London and work here, work there. That's what you do as an athlete, as a sport. You go fight an opponent there, fight an opponent there. So, London's supposed to be bad. I'm an inspector. Let's see how bad them inspectors are. See how bad their schools are. Because that's what you do in sport. So it gave me this different fearless type of attitude. Yeah. So I'd go, oh, what's good here? Oh, I like that. Well, that's what I did in sport. I like that. And then so it can enhance West Yorkshire, because I'm working for West Yorkshire. And we did win the Premier League in 2001 too. As an authority, we were the best. Yeah. And why? Because
you took the best from all the other areas.
Best, and I had the fearlessness of about going out travelling from the world of martial, and that internal confidence to go out and say, well, I don't know, I like that, learn, bring it back here.
There's a famous line from one of Bruce Lee's films. I think it was in Enter the Dragon.
Oh, that is the darn film.
He was asked, I think it was the New Zealand competitor when they were on the boat, and he was asked about his style.
His style.
And Bruce Lee replied, it's the art of fighting without fighting. What does that mean to you?
Oh, to me, that's a tactic and then a philosophy and ideology I took into education. Yeah. To me, people again have that fighting, that physical thing which you're all used to. But fighting can take part in here. It can take part in there. So there can be combat, and actually, it doesn't seem like you're fighting. You can defeat an opponent, and actually, all you do is use their energy against them. So it don't look like you're fighting, but you are. And that concept fighting has a multi-dimensional meaning to it. And as we all know, Bruce Lee was a philosopher. Not just that the media focused on, you know, the martial arts fighter, he was a philosopher. So many of the things he said are deeper within that martial context. So the art of fighting without fighting is a very, ideology and a philosophy which, for me, I've tried to live, you know, because obviously I had to do it in the combat, but then the ideology I take on board more in the academic world, education, whereby in the education world didn't really understand it. If you said, yeah, fine, well, fine, duh. But wasn't it done by that violent person called Bruce Lee? So of course we're interested. So coming in with an ideology like that now, well, it meant I could do things, and in my mind, or over say my mind, I'm challenging, I'm doing combat, but for them it didn't look like combat as far as I was doing. But I'm like, well, it's the art of fighting without fighting. I'm appearing not to fight or challenge, and in fact I am. So it's an ideology which has definitely stood me in good stead, you know, and picked up from Bruce's reading, going through as a kid and reading about him and the stuff. Like, wow. All I can say is that was another major in my life figure that was that in the darkness you have these lights that help pull you through life. Well, Bruce Lee was one of those lights that, you know, it's like, I'll go that way. That's the way out. Yeah, definitely.
Stepping outside of the dojo, of training, have you ever had to use any of your martial arts skills in anger outside of the ring?
Generally, no, because I've learned how to avoid it and not go into places where, even though I've lived in extremely violent areas, going on buses and trains, I've met people who are not very nice. I've had to even challenge people. There was a situation not so long ago whereby there were 3 males. I suppose fairly bigger state than me, but they were not nice to somebody particularly. But I suppose because of my martial arts ability and my skill and confidence, I was able to challenge them without fear. But also be very aware that I'm on a bus. They could have anything on them. But I was confident enough that I'm going to challenge you people because you weren't nice. You were bullying this other human being. You were bullying, and that is not nice. And no one in the bus isn't going to do anything about it. But you know what? I'm going to do something. So, and that martial arts ability gave me the confidence to be able to challenge and get up. And a few things like that have recently occurred whereby you've had people who have actually been really stupid, and I've had to say, you know what? I'm going to do something.
So you've been able to challenge because of your ability and the fact that that's given you confidence.
Yeah.
But have you ever actually had to use it, or it's just having the confidence enough to be able to challenge people?
Yeah, it's confidence. I mean, there was another situation the other day where somebody drunk was coming towards me. I was with an elderly woman, actually, who was part of my Wing Chun class. And as we were talking, my senses detected something was wrong, approached me rapid, wrong. I looked, this person shouted out, he had a bottle in his hand, and was deliberately walking that was so this is happening, I'm calculating all this while I'm talking to this elderly woman, and calculating it all, and what happened, he came to shoulder charge me, and as he did, I went, so he missed nothing, turned back, carried on the conversation with the woman, but I was highly aware of what was going on behind me. So you can say that was confrontation, but no confrontation. It was like I didn't allow it to be a confrontation, even though he did want it to be. He had a bottle, he was not well drunk, and he came to shoulder charge me. But so it was like, I just didn't get into the fight.
Did he fall over?
No, he didn't fall over, but he kind of, I knew he lost his balance because I put my attention to her, the other, because it was like I was concerned for her. What happens if something happens? So it was like, you've missed, boom, but I'm still going to be aware of you. As we're talking, I'm talking out because I don't want her to be worried or whatever.
Yeah. Well, there's a good example of fighting without fighting.
Yeah, it was, I wasn't going to get into a fight.
If somebody is faced with a difficult situation out in the street, where there's potentially violence involved, are they a wimp if they run away?
Oh no. When I've done quite a lot of stuff with school, high school pupils around knife defense, dealing with knives. And one of the things we say there is, knife is pulled, you run 1,000 miles per hour the other way. Because with a knife now, you're talking about something that's generally more dangerous than a gun. So we say, there's nothing about being scared, it's about being wise and running. If you can't deal with the situation, it's not about being, you run the other way. So there is a tactic, a well-tried and would be well professed in many martial arts instructors, self-defense instructors will tell you say the same thing. Face a knife, run the other way. Yeah? Only if your back's against the wall and you've got the strategy and the tactics, fine. But other than that, most kids say no, run the other way.
So if you can run, run.
You got it. You got the opportunity to run, get out of there.
And that's nothing to do with being scared or being a wimp or anything like that. It's being clever.
Wise, being wise and clever,
Yeah.
And that sort of stuff I would, it's like for me now, if I'm saying, well, someone pulls a knife on me, well, where's my door out of here? Yeah, I've been trained to deal with knives, but so therefore it means I'm even more cautious. Even more cautious. Where's my way out? Can I get out? And if I can't get out and I'm trapped, then, yeah?
Can you tell us the story of the time, I believe it was in Colombia, when you were mugged?
Oh, wow.
For want of a better word.
Yeah, we were relieved of our money up the mountain. Basically, me and my mate Brian, who was also a major martial artist, me and him had decided to go visit this church up this mountain. Touristy type of thing. Yeah, let's go see this church. So, we went after middle of the afternoon. So, I remember us now, we're walking kind of up this road.
Is it Colombia in South America?
Colombia, South America, and it's in Bogota, so it's in the mountains, a city in the mountains. So we're walking up this road. Now, there's people around, and I remember kind of looking away, just looking away, and for a split second, my vibe went, something's wrong. And as I looked up, I saw a knife in my face. I then felt one in my back. We were surrounded, my friend, same with him, and then we were surrounded by people and everyone had machetes surrounding us. Now I remember feeling a knife in my back and going, just looking and being very aware we're surrounded. The girl got machetes and I just put my hand up like that. I remember looking up at the mountains and there was a shanty town and there's crowds at the shanty town watching. So I remember looking at them, looked at this knife and thinking, damn, that's rusty. Rusty. And then also I remember thinking, because we're in a mountain, yeah? I remember thinking, oh shit, I'm not gonna throw us over the edge. So these are the things going through my head at that time. And I remember they took my shirt, camera, but they left my money. And my mate, they took his money, left mine, took his money and his stuff. And then what happened, the frightening thing then was, they then turned us towards the edge of the mountain. Turned us towards the edge. So that's what I'm thinking, yo, goodbye. So when they turned us, and they didn't sort of throw us off, just gently pushed us and said, rapido. I can remember the words, exactly what it said rapido. Pushed us off the edge. But when you sort of fly over, luckily it's just like edge. So we landed down on something and then went down and down. And so, what did that experience teach me? It taught me, one, I was emotionally cold. Which is how I survived as a kid anyway.
At the time, did you have any thoughts of trying to be a hero?
Well, we were in Colombia, South America. We knew that some people who had tried to stop themselves getting mugged were killed. Life was cheap. There'd been a civil war there, so life was very cheap. And you just knew, so for me, could I have taken out the guy who had the knife in my face, the one on my back, and then all the guys with machetes? We made a calculated decision. You gotta be kidding. Because at the end of the day, it was just material stuff, and it wasn't, we got away with our lives, we were fine, and it was a valid experience, definitely. But that was one of many experiences in Colombia.
Yes. Okay, Lance, coming back into the dojo.
Okay.
All right. You've experienced a lot of different arts, of different martial arts.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Have you ever witnessed, seen bullying happening within a dojo?
The dojos that I've had experience of, I'd say no. Because I wouldn't tolerate it anyway. In a boxing club, I remember I used to have to look after some of the younger little kids who were actually gypsy travellers, and they were getting a bit, so I used to have to step in there. Actually, they're great to me. Those guys now, they became great fighters themselves, and so it's like, I see the heck of day to day. I used to look after us. But generally in the martial arts, I've not experienced it.
Have you heard of any?
Bullying? Yes, wait a minute. Yes, I have. Especially some instructors who were problems. Okay. But really it's like they shouldn't even have a black belt, but bully some of the students and that. So
my question is to you then, if it happened within a dojo, within a club, how would it typically be dealt with?
In a club now, it'd be depending on who's doing it. So, for example, if you've got the instructor, it's like somebody in power doing the bullying. Yeah, it becomes a bit more kind of we don't believe it, you don't believe, yeah. Now, within the martial arts, you've got organisations in the front around for child protection and all that stuff. So, if it's within a dojo now, that'd be a case of it's outside of school, so parent. So if it's to a child, then the parent then would have to, but either direct to the police or, what martial arts association are they in? Can the parent then contact that and inform the association that there's a bullying within that club? So that the association then, who runs the martial arts particular style, so they then can investigate. There was actually, I'm trying to think of a case of somebody who was, that's how it would be done. It'd be association, they'd go contact the association, they've got problems with bullying in the club, can they investigate it and then get them or go directly to the police?
Okay, so there isn't a particular tactic or anything special that a martial artist or an association would do that's different than other clubs or organisations?
No, it'd be just like school would do. You'd have, so you'd be a child protection specialist in child protection, be aware of it, and then to report that on.
Okay, you were the first non-American fighter to be accepted into the Kronk Gym, is that right?
Yeah. The first non-American fighter to be accepted as a Kronk team member.
Before you were accepted, did you feel intimidated? Were you bullied, picked on, or anything?
In the gym? Well, the only time they picked on me was when I first went in. Okay. So they didn't know who I was. The only thing, what happened was they intimidated me in the sense that the coach announced a black Englishman, and people at the time didn't think black people lived in England, especially sometimes in New York. At that time, we're talking 1980, 81. And when the coach said a black man from England, the whole gym stopped, because no one could believe, what, black man from England? So all the fighters in the Kronk Gym crowded around me, like, say something, black man from England. So I didn't feel I could not say anything, so I said a few words, so they had to believe, oh my God, a black man from England. So I was I was considered fresh meat, but a rare type of fresh meat, so that they could really beat up. Fresh meat from England. So they did try taking my head off in all sorts of ways once I was in the ring. But once I exposed them to my skills and what I was capable of, everything changed. People gave me respect then. Once they saw what I could do, it was like, whoa, they left me alone. And then some friends with.
Which has been your hardest fight?
Oh my God. If we look at it, I could say the hardest fight.
Apart from the fight you had with yourself.
My hardest tournament fight was the tournament I used to fight in the mats as well, in the tournament, right? It was against Tom Wynn. And he was like a ex-world Taekwondo champion. Okay. So I fought him a lot of the time, 3 times, so we had 3 battles.
Did you win 3 times?
Well, put it this way, I got the decision 3 times.
Okay.
But on an all-time, and I'll agree with you, first fight, I beat you up. Second fight, give it a draw. Third fight, okay, yeah, you beat me.
But you were still given the decision.
I got decisions.
How do you think, with a few words, we can help people deal with bullying if they don't have any martial art training, they don't have any boxing training, they're not particularly confident people, they're quite small. Okay. What can they do if they're faced with a bully in the playground to help themselves?
Well, first thing, it's to develop trust. Trust in somebody, someone that you can tell. Yeah? So it might not be you who go tell the teacher, but it might be that mate you got that you can trust who goes tells the teacher. So trust, that you develop a trust in somebody. And then that horribleness can be gotten rid of. But you have to trust somebody.
Lance, if people want to find out more about you, how can they do that?
Well, there's internet. There's quite a bit about me on internet now.
But I said you're writing an autobiography at the moment?
I'm writing my autobiography, and it should be completed shortly. And that will be due out, I'd say within a year, it will be published. Now, for people who want to keep more track on that, Martial Arts Illustrated, the magazine, that will be advertising it.
Lance, thank you ever so much for talking with us today.
Thank you.
I'm Dr. Andy Hickson. This is Bully Box TV. Join us next time.